At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 300 programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Fishkin is live on Adobe Radio.
What's up, everybody? You're listening to Gone Fishkin live here on Adobe Radio with your host, Fish. Twitter.com/Gone Fishkin if you have a request. If you want to shout out, Instagram.com/Mike Fishkin if you want to see what I'm up to. I actually just posted a photo dump today, which made me look really good because why else would you post pictures on Instagram unless you look good? I'm looking at my friend who DM'd me all pissed off that they look terrible in the background of one of my pictures, but we won't talk about who that was. Instagram.com/the pug named Biggie if you want to see what Biggie's up to. It was just his 5th birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Biggie. His ears just went up. And I am very excited right now to be on air because it's the first time I'm live on air in probably about 4 to 5 months. And it just had been something that I was really 2025. I made it a goal to start doing my show every Thursday live again. And unfortunately, some things have happened that made it impossible, but we are back, and I'm very excited, and I'm very honored right now to have someone in front of me that means more than he knows to me. He has been by my side basically since I've been in Los Angeles. He's been in my pocket since I'm like probably 12 years old on my iPod.
You're still talking about your dog, right?
Yeah, still talking about my dog.
Okay, that's what I thought.
He's DJ next to me in so many different venues. He's been the light of many of nights that I've felt like shit or have been too drunk, and he's been there. He's been the nicest dude in the world. He's literally everyone's friend in Los Angeles. He just hopped up on stage with the Cover-Ups, which is Green Day's cover band. He is one of the greatest people that I have gotten to meet while out here in Los Angeles. Marko DeSantis of the world.
You forgot the part about me being one of the most handsome people you've met and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I was like, dude, just keep it going, bro. Keep it going. I got your dog sitting on my lap, like just like licking my hand while you're just giving me compliments.
Oh,
dude, I appreciate it. You're a great guy. Thank you so much for having me on and for all of your years of support. You have held grabbed me by the back of my jeans while I've been spraying people at emo night with fog guns so I don't fall off the stage like I did like 5 years ago when I did a backflip off the stage while I was DJing at emo night. I was like crowd surfing when it used to be at the Echo.
Yep.
And I was crowd surfing.
On your birthday, nonetheless.
Yeah, it was my birthday and I was DJing there and I started crowd surfing on the stage because that's where the crowd was. And then I did sort of like a backflip off the tops of people's fingertips off the stage and somehow didn't break my neck, and I think I sprained my wrist, but I didn't realize that at first, so I continued to like hang from the rafters, and I think I'm probably not going to do that kind of stuff as much anymore because maybe I should probably act my age.
No, absolutely not. No, it's not the time to start. You haven't all these years. Now's not the time.
Dude, I've been looking at some old Sugar Cult footage, like from like our early days of touring. Like we used to tour with like Good Charlotte and stuff. Like I'm talking like first record Start Static era, and it's like I'll look on our DVDs and stuff, and I'm just like, I mean, like where we have DVDs years old. That's how old Sugar Cult is now, and like. Dude, I used to be like playing in the middle of a song, and then jump in the crowd in the middle of a guitar solo, crowd surf across the crowd with my guitar on, get surfed back, and then jump right back onto the stage and keep playing. Dude, I can't even barely like walk down a flight of steps right now with a guitar on, you know what I mean, without making a mistake. I don't know how I did that shit when I was young.
That's insane. And that explains why the intro of of Stuck in America is only 2 notes because you were crowd surfing playing it the whole time.
We all, on a no joke, Tim and I, I was like, dude, when we were like working out parts for shit, I'm like, we have to make sure this is going to be like live show proof, so that we have to make the parts of our songs easy enough that we can play them with our guitar slung as low as Joan Jett. And being able to like, you need to be able to like drink a beer and still play it and be able to put on a good show. Because if the stuff gets too complicated, then you start like sitting down on a stool on stage and hunching over your guitar, and then it just stops being rock and roll.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Plus we needed to, I mean, I'm saying that as if we had the musical prowess to play anything other than those 2 notes.
Yeah.
It's not like I was doing that instead of playing some intricate shit. It was like the top of my register. I was like, hey, this is 1 note more than I was playing last week, so I'm fucking improving. You know?
I mean, I want to be sedated. The Ramones solo is just 1 note the entire time.
Oh yeah, totally. I know. And then we couldn't even be asked. We covered that song in our set, and we couldn't even be asked to play the solo. We're like, I'll just play the same chords. It's too much of a hassle.
That's hysterical.
So yeah, but speaking of the Ramones, you mentioned that I got up on stage with Billy Joe the other night. Dude, that was such a rush. But I want to tell you, it was kind of intimidating because I saw that the cover-ups were playing. I was like, yo, that's so rad. Thanks, because I know some of the guys in that world. And I was like, you guys, thanks so much for supporting the fire victims. More on that later. And I keep forgetting. I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, guys, just don't want to gloss over it. My house burned down. Anyway, so I was saying about Billy Joe from Green Day and guitar playing, yeah. We'll get on emo in a little bit and talk about that because it's pretty gnarly. But I'm probably in a little bit of denial and shock and running on adrenaline and liquid death.
Sparkling liquid
what are they
death.
putting this sparkling water? I'm already talking too much and we just started. Anyway, so they call me up and they're like, or we get in touch. We're like DMing each other and they're like, okay, I was just like, hey, I want to come out to the show because it sold out in like 30 seconds, you know? And they're like, dude, come out. And they're like, you want to sit in for a song? And I'm like, fuck yeah. And so he sends me a list of like 20 songs. He's like, just pick like 5 that you could be comfortable with and we'll figure out which one we should do. And I don't want to be like, I'm not going to try to be a punisher. I was like, okay, cool. And I just like picked 5 and I was like, there's a Clash one, there's a Cheap Trick one, there's a Ramones. Cause they just do like covers of like classic songs and they, and it's Billy Joe and Jason from Green Day's touring band. And then and then this guy, Bill, who's their like, I think he might be their tour manager. And this other guy named Chris, who's Billy Joe's like house engineer at his studio and awesome producer and engineer in his own right. Anyway, so it's this kind of cover band that they do. Like whenever Green Day's on tour, they just like jump into clubs and do it every once in a while. If you ever get a chance to see the cover ups, it's so sick, dude. It's so good. And it's like an education because you just hear all the shit that they grew up on. It starts to make sense. You're like, they did a Soul Asylum song, a Replacement song, Ramones songs, and you start to go like, oh, and you hear it with Billy Joe's voice. So it almost sounds like a Green Day song.
Yep.
But then you start to see the influence. You sort of trace the roots of Green Day, which is really fascinating if you're a total nerd like me, because I love fucking digging into record collections and history. Anyway, long story short, I picked these songs and I picked like 2 Ramones songs. And then I was just praying they were going to pick one of the Ramones ones because I realized I don't fucking have any guitars anymore.
Jeez.
So I literally had to like listen. There was like, we're staying in a hotel and there's like a decorative guitar on the wall of the little hotel bar. And I went in there like after they closed and no one was in there. And I took it off the wall. It was all out of tune and I tuned it and tried to get it up and running. It was just this horrible guitar and I broke a string. And I was trying to learn the song just in case. So I learned 5 songs just in case they were going to choose one of those.
Yeah.
And then they're like, text me that morning. They're like, all right, come up for Rockaway Beach by the Ramones. I was like, oh, thank God for the Ramones. It's like the easiest one possible. And I still made a mistake at the beginning of the song, which was awesome.
It's only up from there.
Yeah. Hey, you're on stage with Billy Joe. What's up? Check it out. Everyone's looking at you. You just got to talk on the mic. And then like the song started and I was using Billy's guitar. He handed it to me and I didn't realize that there was like a kill switch on it.
Oh, I saw him fix it for you.
Yeah, you see him if you watch the video clip.
I saw the video.
So I'm like playing it. I'm like, God, it sounds really tight. And then I'm like, oh, it's probably because I'm not actually fucking in the mix yet. And then he turned around and clicked me on. And then, yeah. But it was rad. But like nothing just kills your confidence like something like that happening right when you get on stage with some guy that like, I mean, I don't care if Sugar Cult toured with Green Day. Like you still never stop being starstruck when you're like, in close proximity to Billy Joe. No matter how many times you've seen him up close.
Oh, 100%.
He's a fucking legend, and what a fucking solid guy.
Oh yeah,
You know?
he seems like a great guy the few times I've met him, and it's crazy. You said it's crazy how hearing his voice on the songs is like hearing Green Day songs. Because my friend was like, "Yo, you're not bummed that you didn't get into the cover up show?" And I'm like, "I'll be honest with you. I assume they're going to be playing a bunch of cool covers that I don't know, and I'll just think they're Green Day deep cuts if I hear them."
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. Like, I love Green Day, and I went and I saw. I mean, I've seen Green Day obviously like a million times, but like, I'm more interested to see the cover-ups because like you get to. It's so weird to hear like this voice that you're so familiar with singing songs that they like. You could tell he's just so stoked. Like he's not like, oh, I better play this song just because people like it. He's like playing like a soul, like pre-famous Soul Asylum. Like he's not doing like Somebody to Shove. He's doing, Sometime to Return, which is off like 80s records. Like, so it's just cool because I think that's rad when a cover band, when like any band has like a side project and they just do what's real for them. They don't do what they think is going to be marketable or they think is going to make money. It's just like those guys just, I mean, it's so weird. Like you're a band and your job is to play shows every night. And then what you do when you're in your free time is start another band so you can play shows whenever you have a night off.
Yeah.
Like those guys are like, they can't get enough.
So sick.
Green Day takes a break and then he makes a long shot record.
Yeah.
It's like the dude never fucking stops.
Nope. Man.
It's a trip.
Amazing. And
So yeah, that was a fun night. And it was cool because it was like they raised money for, for the Altadena Girls and Altadena Boys, which are these like organizations that formed by teenagers who lost their house in the fires to raise money for other teenagers that lost their houses in the fire. So it's like kids running something for kids, which is just like, I mean, Green Day's from Northern California. They obviously, some of the guys have houses down here and stuff, but like that is so badass of them to just take that punk rock spirit because like they grew up in that Gilman Street scene, which was all like kids running shows and putting on shows and running zines. They just come from that culture, and no matter how stadium famous they've become, they still just like when they see the bat signal in the sky and they see that rock and roll is needed to do some good, they're just like right there putting, taking a day off. They just got back from like the Middle East. They were like in the Middle East and South Africa, like playing shows. They'd be forgiven to like go. They have a week off before they go and start their tour in China.
Yeah,
they'd be forgiven to go home and like lay by the pool. Exactly. But instead, they're in L.A. helping fire victims, which is badass.
Truly amazing. Yeah. And I want to say we have Diva Bleach calling into the show in just a little bit as well. Forgot to say that in the beginning. I was so mesmerized by Marko and just his incredible eyes because I got hit up a few times after I posted that picture with you from Fishmas with Chuck Pierre and Derek from
that was fun.
Nikki C. A handful of people sent me that picture in particular going, who's that man in the Lulu Simon shirt?
Wait a minute, what was I wearing?
A Lulu Simon shirt, I think.
No, I was wearing, I'll tell you what I was wearing. I remember, and unfortunately that shirt doesn't exist anymore. All my fucking clothes burned down, baby. My clothes, my guitars. It's so weird. It's fucking surreal. But that was my Pacifica shirt.
Yes, Pacifica.
Have you heard of the band Pacifica?
Yes, they're on the
Great band.
Yes, same team that was hitting me up multiple times about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pacifica, Gabe from Midtown and Cobra Starship, he I think manages them or, he's behind them somehow.
Yep.
But I happened to just see them before I even knew Gabe was involved. My friend invited me, I think it might have been, I can't remember who invited me. Someone's like, dude, you got to go see this band Pacifica. They're playing at this place called Permanent Records Roadhouse. Have you ever been there?
No, but I was supposed to go to that show.
Dude, it's so sick. You got to go. It's a record store called Permanent Records, but then there's a dive bar attached to it.
That's sick.
So yeah, it's like a dive bar where you can see shows and then just walk down the driveway and there's a record store with like rad like vintage vinyl and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a cool idea. So they have shows there. It's a great place to see shows. So I went to Pacifica and I didn't know anything about it. I was just like, hey, there's this band from Argentina that you got to see called Pacifica. And I went and I just like, I don't know, dude. It's just once in a while you see something and you're like, immediately I was just a fan right away. I was like, there's these two girls, bass player, singer, and a guitar player, singer, and then these two guys. And they just, every song was so good. It was like, kind of like early Strokes. I don't really know how to describe it. A little bit of early Strokes and then like a little bit of that band from the 90s called Elastica.
Okay.
And I don't know. It was just so real and so like, it wasn't like trying to fit in any genre. It was just like good, like almost like they're like better than they even realized. Like they just naturally write really good hooks and catchy little guitar parts, and it just worked. And they were so like, their enthusiasm on stage was so contagious, you just couldn't not be stoked. And then they were like selling t-shirts afterwards. They only had like 4 or 5 t-shirts left. I guess it was like an illegal show because they didn't have like visas. Hopefully I'm not getting them in trouble. So you should absolutely call Gabe Support right now and report him to the proper authorities, because the band that he manages was playing an unpermitted show without proper work visas. Yeah. Gabe, I ratted you out.
They confirmed sold 1 t-shirt.
Yeah, they sold a shirt. It may or may not have been a cash transaction, so I don't know if it's on the record. They're probably not paying their taxes on their sales tax on that. Am I getting a text from Gabe yet?
Yeah,
he's like, dude, shut the fuck up. I'm listening right now.
He's just showing up.
No, seriously, I just got a text. I was like, that would be so rad if it was Gabe. No, but seriously, I went to buy the shirts, and the shirts were selling for kind of a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I think I only had like $20 in my pocket, and so I just waited. I was like, oh, I really want the white one with the black lettering, and then that one sold, and then the other one sold, and then I like finally had to like, I think I even bought an aspirational shirt, you know, like where it's not your size.
Yeah.
But you're like, dude, I'll just fucking stop eating so I can fit in it. Yeah. Aspirational t-shirt. Yeah. And I think I didn't fit in it like the first day, but then I like just like got on the Peloton, and then I could fit in it like 2 days later.
Love that.
So I was wearing it at that fucking show at Fishmas. I was like, man, I want to wear this. I want to stoke people out, support this band, but also like kind of want to impress Gabe, because who doesn't want to impress Gabe?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But man, we'll get you a new Pacifica shirt for sure. I will be texting
please.
ASAP.
Triple XL, please, because I'm eating my feelings right now. No, it was, yeah, I think it was a large. I don't know. Yeah.
Hell yeah. But either way, one of the main reasons you're on the show tonight is a very unfortunate reason. Through all of this, like, there's a lot of people that could have just totally went into hiding, totally did nothing. But you're out there, you're DJing, you're doing interviews, you're hopping up on stage, you're making the best of it. And there couldn't be a better light in such a terrible situation, and someone who I know can navigate it, not only for themselves, but for everyone around. So what exactly happened for everyone out there? Because there was so much happening at once. It was hard to see what was happening individually to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, and thank you, dude. I mean, I don't know how else to handle anything in life. I just instinctively, it's like a moth to a flame. I just go to where the music is. You know, I know it sounds kind of cringy, but like, it's like the Rancid lyric, when I got the music, I got a place to go. It's like, you just go there. As soon as there started being some like shows, like there was this thing, Fire Aid, there was that Cover Up show. There was like, what did I do the other night? Oh, I fucking went to the Grammys. You know, a friend of mine invited me, and I was like, that sounds like fun. Let's go. And then, you know, I think Blink is playing. I'm pretty sure people know about that.
Yeah,
Blink and Alkaline Trio next. So it's just like, you go to where the music is, you go to where the love is, and you just feel like, you know, there's a thing about being at a show. I don't know. For me, I mean, again, this sounds a little bit cringy, but like music to me, like shows are like my version of like, I've never been like a particularly like religious person, but like to me, that's probably like, I feel like that must be what church means to some people, or temple means to some people, or mosque means to some people. It's just like a place you go where you're going to be around people that you may not know personally, but you kind of have a kinship with, because you're all like when you feel it, I feel it when I DJ emo night. I feel like, dude, this is like, you feel that congregation, you know, you feel it when you play a show, you feel it when you go to a show. There's just this like, you're around your people, you're around music, and it sort of like, it doesn't drown out your feelings. I don't want to run away from my feelings or anything that's sad. You know, I like to confront things and deal with things head on, but like it just gives you like, it just, I don't know, it just like fills you with, like, puts wind in your sails, you know? And so those things were actually really great that happened last week. I didn't realize how bad I needed it until I got there and experienced it. And I was like, fuck, this is like just like lifting me up, you know, it's like, you know, but what happened was, you know, I mean, this didn't happen to me. This happened to our entire city. It happened to so many people in Pacific Palisades, and in the city, in the part of town where I lived is Altadena, and all over LA. There was people in other parts of LA that were displaced, evacuated, maybe part of their business or their home caught on fire. But unfortunately, we were one of the many people, one of thousands of people in my neighborhood that lost their house. Yeah. And it's just surreal, bro. It's like we didn't only lose our house, we lost our next door neighbor's house on one side, our next door neighbor's house on the other side, our across the street neighbor's house. To put it bluntly, our entire street, and I'm talking about like blocks and blocks, there's 2 houses left.
Jeez.
You almost feel sorry for them.
Yeah.
Because they can't live there either. There's no water, there's no power, there's no infrastructure. And because of all the smoke damage, there's like people who didn't lose their house can't move back into their house because their houses are contaminated.
Yeah.
Because when it's like a forest fire, like something that burns in the mountains or something, and it's just natural, organic bushes and trees, I'm learning all this shit, obviously. That's one thing. That's why it's not dangerous to go camping and like have a campfire or like have a fire in your fireplace, But when a house and a neighborhood burns down and there's like thousands of houses, you're talking about, and in our neighborhood, our house was going to turn 100. Our house was built in the 20s, and most of the houses in our neighborhood were built in the 20s. They're like super charming little houses that were built in the 20s, and all these old, trees. But houses built back then had they used asbestos, which is fine as long as it's just sitting there. But when it catches on fire, it becomes incredibly dangerous to breathe, right? And they're probably underneath some layers of them, probably at some point had lead paint, which they don't use anymore, but back in the day. So you get asbestos and lead paint burned down, and then all the modern trappings of like all your computers and recording equipment and people's Teslas and whatnot. It's like you got all those batteries burning down. Even just your couch is like you're chilling on your couch. If that shit burns down, suddenly it's like incredibly toxic because of the stuff they use to make like a couch that you get at like Crate and Barrel or something, right? And coat it so it's like, so when you spill wine on it, it doesn't,
Yeah.
So all this shit's fine and well until it burns down. Then it becomes like literally poisonous and toxic. So that's what we're talking about. So people who have houses still standing can't move back into their house. I know a bunch of people. My whole life, I've known like 2 people who ever lost their house in a fire, and now I know literally like 30 people.
Yeah.
Like really well, like good friends. You know what I mean? It's so weird. Like, and we have 2 kids, so like our kids' like neighborhood that they like, the house they grew up in from when they were babies, all their friends, all the little places where they used to play, the place where they used to go to school, like all that shit is just like, I feel so bad for them because like, I could drive back to my hometown and go to where I lived when I was 7 or 14 or 16, but my kids can't now, and nor can the kids across the street or the kids that they grew up with. So it's a weird thing to have happen on so many levels. It's like surreal. Your brain is just not. I just think as humans we've been domesticated for so long to live in like houses or apartments or whatever it is. That the idea of being displaced and the idea of having your house go away is just like, we're just not like wired for that anymore.
Yeah.
We were for hundreds of thousands of years when we were just nomads, but like now we're so used to like everyone can close their eyes and like picture like their pillow.
Yeah.
And that's where they belong, no matter how shitty your job is or your day is or whatever bad the traffic is. Like you have some place that's sort of your like point of your center of gravity where you can just like go, and it's like even if you have a million roommates, it's like the one little place in that house where you can like go and plug yourself in and recharge. Call your own, like take a shower and just keep your socks and keep your stuff, store your stuff. It's just it's so weird when that is removed from your life,
Yeah.
And like, everything that's familiar. And I was always the guy. I mean, you've had me on the show before. You know that I'm a total fucking like nerdy, like sentimental history buff. And I've been in bands my whole life, even before Sugar Cult. And I've always been the guy in my band that was like the archivist.
Yeah.
Like anytime someone's like, yo, dude, we recorded your show, we took some pictures, I was always the one who took it because our singer would lose it. So I kept it. So everything was just like, everything Sugar Cult related stored with me. Mm-hmm. I'm the guy who kept every flyer from the early days, every news clipping, every time we got, press clipping, anything. The Punk Rock Museum, that's this, Fat Mike from NoFX's museum in Las Vegas. They came to my house like in the last couple years. They came twice and they borrowed a whole bunch of stuff that's in their collection right now. Sugar Cult stuff. And then they came and they were doing a Green Day and a NoFX exhibit. And I not only have I archived stuff from my own bands, I've also been like a total super fan and archived, like saved like flyers and set lists from like and guitar picks, just everything from other bands, either bands we've toured with or bands I just went to see as a fan through the years. Ticket stubs to every concert I've ever been to in my life, backstage passes, just everything. And so they borrowed some Green Day and NoFX stuff. So thank goodness, at least some of my stuff is still alive at the Punk Rock Museum. But everything else, sadly, is totally gone.
Damn.
You know, paintings, artwork that I've collected over the years from like, you feel so bad. It's like some painter made this work of art and I bought it off them and like now it's gone.
Yeah.
You almost feel like you like, you know, you're entrusted with someone's kid and you let it like get hurt. You know, it's a weird thing, man. It's like really emotional. And also that, like I said before we got on the air, like, you know, I mean, I bought the house 18 years ago and that's when like Sugar Cult was like just like having like hitting our real kind of, after years and years of toiling in obscurity and playing in scrappy punk bands and doing all that, like a band was like on the radio and playing big shows. And it was like, finally able to buy a house. Yeah. And, you know, it sort of represents something in a young adult's life. Like it's, you know, it's like, it's one thing to buy a house. It's one thing to like feel like you bought a house because your dream came true when you like are in a band, you know? And that's like, and it's not like a mansion, you know, we're not like fucking, you know, but it's just a house. And it's like, to me, it was just emblematic of like, of a dream I had since I was 11 years old coming true and then eventually being able to like manifest it by like, wow, I could fucking buy a house just because I jump around on stage and play guitar and fucking, you know, make noise. It's cool. It's something you feel really proud of. And then to have it like taken away, it's like really violating, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So, but we're going to rebuild it, you know, and it'll be a different house and it'll be in the same place and it's going to be a long road. And, you know, I'm grateful for our safety. I'm grateful for the opportunity I'm grateful that we have insurance and that we're going to have the chance to rebuild it. Some people aren't maybe so lucky.
Yeah.
And so I definitely am counting my blessings.
And
it could be a lot worse.
And you and your family have a GoFundMe right now too. And it's in your Instagram.
We do have a GoFundMe that one of my wife's friends set up, which is amazing because I'm just like I was always like too proud to ever ask anybody for help. And Sugar Cult's manager talked me off the ledge. He's like, dude, just shut the fuck up. People want to help you and you gotta let them help you. Yeah. You gotta learn to receive. And I've learned reluctantly because I'm just one of those people, like everything I got in my life, I worked for but you know, what I'm finding is like dear friends of mine are like, you know, sending me stuff, whether it's money to our GoFundMe or like, you know, starting their own fundraisers or giving us just whatever we need, like clothes or whatever. And like, I'm like, dude, I want to repay you. And they're like, dude, you paid it forward. And they're reminding me like when I first met you, I was down in the dumps and you fucking picked me up and gave me, and you just, you know, I don't know. I don't think of myself as particularly that fucking great of a person, but your friends will tell you that you're a good person when because we're probably, you know, always a little bit have imposter syndrome or get kind of self-deprecating and like, then you look back and you hear like even the stuff you were saying in the intro almost made me cry, dude. I'm just like, you never know what effect you might be having on a person just by being cool. And I guess the moral of the story is like, without any transactional like keeping of score, it's just probably a good idea to be cool. Yep,
exactly.
And help people if you can, when you can. Not because you're going to get it back someday. You can't keep score, but just because you just never know who needs it. You know?
Exactly. And for me, I personally knew you were very overwhelmed with messages because you're one of the most popular people I've ever met. So I knew there was just no chance you would probably see a text message from me. And then there was just one night, definitely smoked way too much to go to bed, and I needed some water. And I walked over to my kitchen and I opened my cabinet and I just saw the Sugar Cult bouncing off the walls mug you gave me at Fishmas a handful of years ago. And I'm like, fuck, I miss Marko so much. And I'm like, go to your Instagram. I'm like, there's the GoFundMe. Dope.
Oh,
awesome.
dude.
And man, it just brought a smile to my face, even drinking a water out of there.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, it really and I appreciate that so much. I guess in my Instagram, it's in the little like link in the bio. You can go there and there's a thing for the GoFundMe. And there's actually a cool thing that Fat Mike from NoFX, who's another person even though I know him personally, like I still like get starstruck when I'm around him. Like him and Billy Joe, like these people are, to me, they're just, I mean,
starstruck or scared for your life with Fat Mike?
Maybe a little bit of both.
For me.
A little bit of both. But they're just such like, I admire them so much because aside from all the like, you know, wild antics and everything, it's just like, these are like self-made, just badass people that have just changed the world. I mean, Billy Joe changed the world. Green Day changed the world. Fat Mike changed the world. These are like people, and you see them around and you're like, dude, there's my Fat Mike. But then you think about it, you're like, this guy fucking changed the world.
Yep.
Like he made punk rock something that wasn't, he expanded the possibilities and the boundaries of punk rock, you know. So did Billy Joe in his own way. So anyways, point I'm making is, you know, he was like, he calls me up to check on me like the day after the show. And I was just like, I mean, I don't talk to Fat Mike every day, but like he called me up, he's like, hey man. And I was like, and then he just gave me this like pep talk I didn't even know I needed. And he just was so sweet and so kind, so sincere. And he was like, yeah, dude, we're going to design a NoFX shirt to help. And I was like, oh, Mike, dude, that's so nice of you to help the fire victims and everything. He's like, no, it's not to help the fire victims, dude. It's to help you. Aww. And I'm like, dude, no, like you can't do that just for me. And he's like, no, it's for you, dude. And I'm like, he's like, you're punk rock, you're family. And I'm like, he's like, how many years have I known? You know, it's just like, dude, that is so rad. Yeah. And like, so he made like a NoFX shirt to help me. And I think there's another guy from the band Screeching Weasel, who's unfortunately lost his house too. So I think he's spreading the love between us. But like, it was just like, you know, it's one of those things where I'm like, that is so rad. He's like, he didn't have to do that, you know, and he did it. And then he started another thing. He started an auction where he like took some records out of his own record collection and signed them and put them up for auction. And that was also to help raise money for us.
He's the best.
It was so rad. And then I was like looking on his Instagram and I found out it was his birthday. I'm like, who does that? It's like on his own birthday, instead of making it about him, he's just like, let me help somebody else who needs help. Like that's fucking awesome, you know? And it was just like, dude, thank you so much. It was rad that he it's just honestly all this shit. It's like, it just makes me want to be a better person. It makes me want to help other people in any way I can. You just kind of go at this point from here on out, the way people have just like opened their hearts to us, even practical strangers, you know, the guy who signed Sugar Cult 20 years ago, who was an A&R guy back then. I haven't seen him in years. He calls me up. He's like, you guys must need a little cheering up. Do you want to go to the Grammys? I was like, fuck yeah. And I get to the Grammys. I'm in the Uber and we're just like, you have to pass all these levels of security and you show your ticket, you show your little thing to them and they're like, all right, this way. And then like the Ubers started just becoming black Escalades and limousines. And I'm like, why are we still following those people? And then I realized, holy shit, he didn't just give us tickets. He gave us fucking red carpet. And so we get out of the car. It's just me and my daughter. They brought my daughter and my teenage daughter. And it was like the first person we get there. And I was like, I was wearing a fucking jacket I thrifted at Goodwill for $5 because I didn't have any clothes. Just like some shitty fucking like black t-shirt from Old Navy that I got from some like donation for displaced fire victims. And then I was wearing these like Saint Laurent leather shoes that I borrowed from like our friends that are like a gay married couple. And I was like, they were like, we're out of town, but here's the code to our shoe closet. And I'm in there trying all these fucking Gucci's and all these fancy things that I found like the most subdued pair of shoes I could find, but they were half size too big and they're like, or too small. So I was like jammed into these things. And I'm like, I have solidarity with every girl I've ever seen in my life that's like walking around holding their heels at the end of a night. You know, I was literally that girl. I was like, after the red carpet and everything that night, at the end of the night, I'm like walking around downtown LA trying to find an Uber in my socks, holding the shoes. Like, I'm like, how... I would rather fucking risk stepping on a shard of broken glass or a syringe than like, you know, than wear these things for another step. But anyway, so we're on the red carpet. All these people start clapping and I'm like looking at my daughter like, see, Sugar Cult's still relevant. You know, I told you it's going to be fucking gnarly. People are going to think, hey, look at that. It's the guy from Sugar Cult. And then, of course, I look to my right and Olivia Rodrigo was standing right next to me.
Oh, man. Yeah. Did you see Stacey, too?
I saw Olivia. No, with Stacey who?
Stacey Jones.
I didn't see Stacey, but I saw Miley Cyrus.
Gotcha.
And I was going to, and she looked at me and I looked at her and I was going to just go, I know Stacey from American Hi-Fi. And then I just I just saw the the look from my teenage daughter, like, you're not going to be that guy, are you, right now? And I was getting judged so hard. I could feel like her eyes just like searing into me like beams. And I was just like, okay, let's keep walking. You know, yeah, it was cool. No, it was fun, and I don't get to do shit like that all the time. So it was just super fun, and I just love this. You know, I love going to like the most underground punk rock show, and I love going to the biggest glitzy, glamorous show where like Cardi B and Taylor Swift are there. You know, it's all fun, and it was actually a really good show, and it was a better Grammys than you usually see, because I think the Fires, I mean, really kind of kicked people into gear. And like, no, there's something about these Fires that really kind of like made people stop apologizing for loving Los Angeles. Like, there's always that weird thing about LA where you're like, yeah, I know. And people are like, oh, LA, dude, how's that going? And you're always like, well, I know, but you know, there's this weird love-hate thing about LA. But I think at the end of the day, this just reminds a lot of people that like LA is a pretty magical place, dude.
It truly is. And I think that's a perfect segue to play Los Angeles by Sugar Cult, a song that deserves more life, because I got it as the iTunes single of the week in 2007, maybe?
Right. After I give my heartwarming speech about LA being so rad, you're going to play the song where we're like, this city's killing me.
Oh, wait, is that what it's really about?
No, it's about the like duality of Los Angeles, where you're like, you come here, it's this casino for dreamers that just magnetizes and attracts all these people, but then it's also going to like greet you with a punch in the face. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's New York too, in a nutshell.
New York too, right? You know, but it's also like, if you can like,
don't say make it here, you can make it anywhere.
I'm not going to say if you can make it here, you make it anywhere, because that's New York. But if you can like make it through those like initial sort of hazing rituals of like, oh shit, man, I'm trying to take a left-hand turn, I'm trying to find parking, I'm late because there's traffic, this person, you know, there's all these things. If you can make it through all those FUs and doors slammed to your face, it's like you pass the test, then suddenly you can make LA work for you. And then you start to love it. And you realize what a magical place it is. And it's inclusive, and the possibilities are endless here. Look at you. You're a kid from the East Coast, and you're fucking crushing. You run LA now.
Oh,
you know?
I try. I'm still just a kid from the East Coast who's living out here. But here is Los Angeles by Sugar Cult. Then we'll be getting into my interview with Diva Bleach.
Right on.
gives me a slack and a car that won't break down in the heat of Los Angeles. Come on, it's alive and breathing. Come on, come alive today. Come on, it's a heart that's beating. The sun is burning down. Come on, it's alive and breathing. Come on, alive today. Come on, it's a heart that's beating. The sun is burning down Los Angeles. The sun is burning down Los Angeles. The sun is burning down Los Angeles. The sun is burning down Los
Baby, I'm spiraling again. Yeah, you got me losing common sense. Started a fire, got lost in the smoke. You fanned the flames and I got too close, but baby, you're my favorite mess. I think we should fuck it up, 'cause I wanna make you obsessed. Now I got you under my thumb. I'm done. Wanna hear you confess. Down on your knees, make you wanna come clean. Tactically obsessed. Daydreams flashing in your mind. Every time you close your eyes. I know it's selfish, but I just can't help it. Try to walk away, but it's so magnetic. And I don't really feel that bad when you look at me like that. I think we should fuck it up, 'cause I wanna make you obsessed. Now I got you under my thumb. I'm done. Wanna hear you confess. Down on your knees, make you wanna come clean. Tactically obsessed. Now I got you under my thumb. I'm done. Wanna hear you confess. Down on your knees, make you wanna come clean. Tactically obsessed. Fire got lost in the smoke. Can't keep it together. Let's watch it unfold. Started a fire, got lost in the smoke. I try holding my breath, now it's making me choke. Started a fire, got lost in the smoke. Can't keep it together. Let's watch it unfold. Started a fire, got lost in the smoke. I try holding my breath, now it's making me choke. Obsessed, now I got you under my thumb. I'm done. Wanna hear you confess. Down on your knees, make you wanna come clean. Tactically obsessed. Now I got you under my thumb. I'm done. Wanna hear you confess. Down on your knees, make you wanna come clean. Toxically obsessed.
That was Obsessed by Diva Bleach off their new record, Can You Keep a Secret? And I couldn't be more honored right now. For the first time ever, I'm pretty sure, I'm joined by Sid and Bree on the phone right now. What's up? How are you guys?
Hi, Mike.
Hello.
We're good. How are you?
Doing well, yeah.
Damn, it's been so long since I've done my show that people are calling me Mike on air. Damn. Hell yeah. Amazing. Well, congratulations on Can You Keep a Secret? The record's absolutely incredible. And yeah, I just want to, before we get into more about the record, I just want to have you guys tell everyone out there what you do in the band.
Yeah. So my name's Sydney. I sing and sometimes play bass in Diva Bleach.
And I'm Bree, and I play guitar, and I'll sing like backup vocals and harmonies and such.
Hell
Sorry,
yeah.
Bree. I think you're a little.
Oh, hold on.
Bree's on the
There
remix
you go.
vibe.
Sorry,
Perfect.
I am. Okay, is that a little better? My Wi-Fi at my apartment sucks.
Amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
I'm Bree, and I play guitar, and I'll do harmonies and stuff.
I love it. And collectively, you guys are Diva Bleach, and collectively, everyone has seen you guys in a parking lot during the summer. Because I feel like if there's a summer parking lot festival, you guys are on at least some of the dates at this point. It's a pretty standard like clause in every
100%.
contract.
Yes, it is. We're required.
We love a little festival.
No, we love it.
Hell yeah. So just talk about like the last year of touring while you guys were teasing the songs off of the record. Can you keep a secret? And we'll get into my favorite song and everything after we hear all about your touring and the hard work you guys have put in, because it has not been an easy road for you guys. You guys have been relentlessly touring, writing. You're out and going between Phoenix and LA, writing with a ton of people. So tell the whole Diva Bleach story so I don't butcher it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the past year, we've been on the road a lot. We did a tour in the spring and then we did Sad Summer in the summer. And yeah, it's been so much fun. And, you know, during those, we're also like traveling to LA and doing a lot of writing sessions and just go. But
yeah, we're trying to go to as many new places as we can, play shows in places that we haven't before. And work on the album at the same time. It was really cool.
Yeah. And now it's finally here and we're writing for whatever comes next.
Amazing. Well, I mean, what's to come next? I mean, you guys just dropped a record like 2 weeks ago.
We're just constantly writing, you know, we can't stop.
I love it. Hell yeah. So now, in the last couple of years, you guys have really just become very, very, very ingrained in the scene in like the coolest way possible. Like, you guys were an incredible band from Arizona, and now you guys are still an incredible band from Arizona that now everyone knows. So talk about coming up in the Phoenix area, because it's become such a hot spot for this scene, especially with like 8123 in the main over there. And I know you guys just played 8123 in Phoenix or Mesa this year, rather.
Yeah, it was amazing. There's so many cool local bands in Phoenix, and like obviously the main are legends, and we were so excited and grateful to be part of that, and part of 8123 and part of Sad Summer. But yeah, there's lots of creativity out here.
Yeah, there's a lot of like different genres too. Like, yes, the like alternative and pop rock scenes are incredible, but we also have a lot of like folk rock and just like really like true punk. That's really cool. So, and there's a lot of like genre blending concerts out here, so that's really cool to see.
That's awesome. And I know my personal favorite song on the record is I Like You, and I'm a nerd, so I went to the credits and I saw Jono co-wrote and produced it.
Yes.
So
Yeah, that was super fun.
So talk
it
about
was incredible.
Oh, sorry. You go.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just gonna say it was incredible working with him. We wrote that like just before we then went on tour opening for them. So it was super, super cool. Great guy to work with.
Amazing. That's awesome. And man, he's had to deal with me for far too long. Not notice how I've said we haven't been friends for 10 plus years. He's had to deal with me for far too long is the way I'm going to word it. He's always been my friend. So nice. That's awesome. And now talk about your style a little bit, because you guys have some of the coolest aesthetic, like the promo graphic that's going up, or the promo graphic people saw before this interview. Like, it's so vibrant. You guys are at that Arizona State Fair. You have insanely colored hair, very detailed, oriented. And I want to bring this up because it's not by accident, and it's all very aesthetic. And talk about your aesthetic and some of the bands you guys were looking up to growing up.
Oh yeah, I mean, Bree, if you want to start.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of how to explain it, because it's really cool. Like, we never planned for our vibes and aesthetic to like ever match your hair. It's just something that's kind of like naturally happened, because it's just like I feel like it comes across in like the songwriting. Like, it's just part of who you are, and just that like fun energy. And that's why your hair is that way, because it reflects you. And I think we just try to make all our visuals kind of reflect that and what we want to come across in our writing.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been an emo kid at heart, you know, like I never left that phase, I guess. And I mean, same for Bree, you know, so
yeah.
It like we just genuinely make music that we like to listen to and make visuals that we like to look at. And yeah, like it's really cool that other people like it too, because we're just doing what we like, you know?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. And now, what are some of the bands you looked up to and were listening to throughout like growing up and while you guys were envisioning Diva Bleach, and even maybe while you were making this record? Because I can't pinpoint it. Usually I'm like so good at like just taking an out of pocket reference for a band, and like bands will always just say yes to me. I'll be like, yeah, you sound like a mix of Metallica and Fergie, and they'll be like, hell yeah, brother. But like I can't even pull one out for you guys because like it's just straight pop rock, and it's like, it, for lack of a better term, like especially talking about the main, like it's like a glass of lemonade essentially.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I mean, we both, not to speak for both of us, but like, you know, we grew up listening to, you know, like the classic emo bands and women in the scene specifically, you know, like Tonight Alive and Hey Monday and
Oh my gosh, yeah. We Are the In Crowd. So much of that.
The Somerset, like just, you know, we've looked up to all of those bands, and I think it was very formative for us growing up. Yeah. And also, Brie, if you had something.
Sorry, I like had a thought and I lost it. But yeah, like all those bands are huge. Like exactly, I was gonna say Tonight Alive is incredible. Just bands where like people are being honest, and you know, it's as young girls growing up, seeing other women do exactly what we want to do. It was like, hey, maybe I can do that too, which is really cool.
Yeah, so those bands like definitely shaped us like when we were younger. Gosh, music that we were listening to while writing the record.
I want to say there are definitely moments where like with guitars wise, we'd be like, oh, something a little bit like Taking Back Sunday inspired.
Yeah.
But vocally, we'd be like, what if this was like Kesha? So we'd pull it for different things for the same song.
100%. Yeah, like oh my gosh, I mean, both of us, like we listen to like literally everything. So just, it's kind of all across the board. But yeah, like those emo roots and then adding, you know, pop flair, kind of, yeah.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. Incredible. Well, you guys are awesome either way. Doesn't matter who your influences are because we're listening to Diva Bleach either way.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So now, what's the plan for the rest of the year? Like, I'm so bummed. I think I missed you guys on the Young Rising Suns tour. I don't think you were on the LA date, were you? Wait, no, you were. I saw you guys there. Yes. Do you know what else I saw that night?
What?
15 espresso old fashions to the face.
Oh my God.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Maybe not 15, but
Somewhere
no, it was at Lodge Room. I was like just trying to think of it, and I was thinking of when Suns played Fishmas, which you guys were also at, but you didn't play it that year.
Right.
Yes, we were there.
Yes, you were there. I feel like if there's a Fishmas, you guys are also there.
Yes, of course. How can we miss it?
Hell yeah. So now just talk about like even touring with so many different styles of music between like Sad Summer and doing a tour like the Young Rising Suns tour, because they're two very, very different tours.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would say that like the Young Rising Suns tour was very intimate, I would say. Like very one-on-one with like their fans, and just like smaller venues for sure, which is a huge difference. Also, just like for us, the lengths that we were on the tour, that was vastly different. Sad Summer is the longest tour we'd ever done before, which was so cool, but also just like a totally different beast to approach.
Yeah, it's been cool like touring with, you know, those, because their genres are very different. And yeah, but I mean, one thing that's like consistent is like how nice the people are at the shows. And
absolutely,
both people, you know, like their fans would come up to us after and be like, oh, like, you know, we're fans of you guys now. But then same with the other one. So it's cool to see that we can kind of blend with, I guess, a lot of different varieties of
crowds.
music.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. And I love that the influences you said were basically every single artist that was up with Hey Monday during Coming Home at When We Were Young this year.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, I was like, while you were talking, I was trying to find the post to like confirm that was every single artist that was up there. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure that was every single artist that was up there.
Yeah, literal dream team.
Oh my gosh, for real.
I love it. Hell yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for calling in. I really appreciate it. I'm very excited for you guys. I love the record. And yeah, dude, like it's incredible. I Like You is one of my favorite songs on Adobe Radio right now. We put that on record because everything I'm saying is getting recorded. The record is called Can You Keep a Secret? The record should not be called Can You Keep a Secret because everyone's going to know it. There's no secrets about this record.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. All the kind words. Thank you.
Of course, of course. And now, if it's cool with you, before I play I Like You, I was going to ask what song you guys wanted to play, but I took control of that one. Sorry. I need to play that one. That's a great one.
It's a good choice.
How can everyone keep up with you guys on social media? What's the Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram, the TikTok?
Yeah. So on Instagram, we're at Diva Bleach Band. And then everywhere else, we're at Diva Bleach.
That is so easy. I love that.
Easy peasy.
Hell yeah. Well, Bree, Sid, thank you guys so much for calling in. I really appreciate it. Huge fan of the new record. Everyone needs to check it out. And when can everyone see you guys live again?
Oh, we are hoping to get back out there later this year. So stay tuned.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely have some dates coming up.
I love it. Well, I'll be on the lookout for that. And please don't book a venue that has espresso old fashions again. I can never say no to them.
We won't. Just for you, we won't.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to play my favorite single off of Can You Keep a Secret? The song is called I Like You. Check it out here on Gone Fishkin on Adobe Radio.
because Gone Fishkin is back and better than ever, or at least that's what he says.
It is, unfortunately, what I say and what I claim. I am not the one to be able to judge if I'm back and better than ever. I could just say that I am back. I don't know if I'm better than ever, but what I do know is that I just interviewed Diva Bleach, and I am still joined by one of my favorite people that I've gotten to meet throughout the years, Marko DeSantis.
Dude, thanks for having me, man.
Of course.
It's such a trip. So many wild memories through the years, you know, doing the emo night things and and then just, you know, hearing the stories that you have from, you know, being a Sugar Cult fan when you're growing up on the East Coast. I mean, honestly, we're a band from here, from Southern California, but our fondest Sugar Cult memories were always on the East Coast. So whenever I meet people who grew up on the East Coast, they're always like, yo, you know, Sugar Cult. And I was like, that was where, I mean, it's the grass is always greener. Like, playing in California is awesome, but going all the way to the East Coast and having kids in like New Jersey and New York and stuff, like, know your shit, that makes you feel like you actually did it. You know?
There's nothing like being at Starland Ballroom at 11 p.m. after you get let out of the show and realizing the only thing there is a Wawa. But I wouldn't change it for the world.
we recorded our live album and our DVD, like the live thing we recorded at the Starland Ballroom because we love playing that place so much. I'm
so
like,
legendary.
There are people like, why'd you do that? You guys from New Jersey? I'm like, no, we're from Santa Barbara, but that's like such a sick place to play. Is it still there?
Yep, it's still there.
Rad.
It's still there, and I think the only band that could still play it at its smaller capacity still, because they got grandfathered in as All Time Low, and they hold the record still for like the most sold out shows at Starland Ballroom.
No way, that's rad. It's
insane.
Like Billy Joel with Madison Square Garden and All Time Low with Starland Ballroom.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, All Time Low is kind of the Billy Joel of our generation. Let's face it.
I mean, if I want to hear the emo piano man, I just put on Dear Maria.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
But oh my God.
You know, if anybody did Jack ever get married?
No.
If there's anybody who like dates girls way hotter than, you know, out of their league, like Billy Joel, it's Jack Barraquette. I mean, I've never seen that parallel before.
And I got to see Third Eye Blind with him a couple of weeks ago while I was in New York. Dude, I called him and I was like, yo, what are you doing tonight? He's like, yo, I got plans with a friend, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yo, but Third Eye Blind's playing an acoustic show at City Winery. He's like, let me call you back. And so I'm texting Colin, the guitar player from Third Eye Blind. Did not know it was just Steven's solo. So I feel bad I was blowing up Colin's phone at what was 8 in the morning for him in California.
Yeah, I'm not getting paid for that show.
Yeah, he's like, Fish, I'm not there. Come on. So we end up getting in and everything. It's me, Jack, and Tom Falcone. We go, and City Winery treated us so great.
Nice.
All Time Low had just played there, and they apparently sold the most amount of collab bottles of wine any artist had ever sold there.
Amazing.
Which was so cool because I coincidentally got to be at that show because I flew in for, I think it was my sister's wedding, maybe.
Oh, cool.
Coincidentally, I was in New York and it worked out perfectly.
Amazing.
So they gave us our own like box area, and we're watching.
Fancy.
Yeah, watching Stephen Jenkins play just solo, and I'm just like,
was it rad?
Dude, so fucking cool. Third Eye Blind's one of my favorite bands.
That's amazing.
And then after, they were like, oh, Jack, Steven wants to say hi to you. So collectively, I'm in the group, so I get to say hi to Stephen Jenkins.
Yeah.
And it was so surreal because he came to Emo Night and DJ'd, and I was like, yeah, dude, great to see you. We did Emo Night together. He's like, oh. And then he talked about Emo Night for like 10 minutes. It was so cool.
That's such a trip. That's awesome. And I'm like, that's a trip.
You're Stephen Jenkins. Holy shit.
Isn't it rad though? Like you meet these people that like you grew up admiring and then you just realize like, I mean, they're just people. They're just rad, down to earth. They're people and their dreams came true. So like, they're good, you know?
Exactly.
It's like I've met, you know, I don't know. I just get so like, it's so exciting, but it's also so lovely when you meet somebody like that and they're just like such a real one, you know? Like I've gotten to sort of know Adrian from No Doubt over the last few years, and dude, it's just so fucking down to earth. And you're like, dude, you're like a fucking legend. You know what I mean? It's just such a rad dude.
It's so cool. That was so surreal.
Yeah, it's a trip. But yeah, man. So it's been a year, dude. It's like what, beginning of February, and I already feel like
37 days into the year.
I'm like, how many days until New Year's Eve? You know, so we kind of need a little bit of a do-over, I think. You know?
A few bars out here did a redo Year's Eve.
Redo Year's Eve. That's good.
On January 31st, they did a countdown to February.
Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, man. I had all these like lofty ambitions for this year. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go through all my cool memorabilia and all my archives, and I'm going to maybe do like a show and tell type of thing. And just like, and now I'm like, well, I can cross that one off the list. Next. But you know what? Maybe, you know, it's like, you just kind of go like when you lose all your shit, in a fire like this, like so many other people did. I mean, this didn't just happen to me. Like I said, this happened to so many people in our city, and I share in their grief and despair. But like in a way that's like we were saying this off the air before. It's like there's kind of two ways you can let it move through you. You can either let it destroy you and take you with it, along with all your things, or you can let it empower you and kind of be as good of excuse as any to like rebuild yourself into like and even not only rebuild your house, but rebuild yourself into a better version of yourself that maybe you didn't ask to be, but maybe needed to become. And it's like, I'm sort of trying to capitalize on that opportunity. Like, hey, this is as good a chance as any to like get my shit together and just kind of, you know, instead of just being like, hey, this guy that sort of did a bunch of shit a long time ago and now it's like kind of a renewal. And it's like, okay, I want to build on that. I want to, you know, build a new version of myself that's even, you know, I'm not gonna say better, but just meets the moment and grows into the future. Cause there's really no getting anything that's ever happened in the past back the same way it was. And so you need to just kind of keep moving forward. So I'm kind of, I'm not, it's probably too early to say I'm excited, but I'm intrigued at the possibilities. I'm intrigued.
Definitely.
So we'll see.
And I just got a really spooky feeling in me when I had a memory of you telling me about some of your plans for 2025.
Oh, yeah.
While at a Green Day show.
Oh, that's weird, right? Yeah, it all comes back.
That's
to
why
that.
I just looked so blank faced. Like literally, I had like a "That's So Raven" moment. Like I went straight to that moment in the balcony at House of Blues, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh my god,
rebuilding things, but maybe not rebuilding them back to the exact way, the exact specs they were before, but maybe opening up new possibilities, and we'll see. You know, I don't know what that means about Sugar Cult. I don't know what that means about me as a human being. I don't know what that means about my house, but like, you certainly, you know. And I mean, this, you know, not to sound too like kumbaya, but like I will say one thing, and you know, I count you among these people. Like I've just had like such an incredible realization of like how just like fortunate I am to have so many amazing people in my life. And that's the kind of thing where like I think once all your shit just burns away, you don't have your favorite socks and your favorite wooden spoon and your favorite memorabilia and your favorite house and all that kind of stuff, you know, it clears the path to just really be able to kind of like appreciate the people you know in your life. And it's like people I know really well, people I hardly know at all, people I haven't seen in years, people that I don't even know at all, that just like saw us on the news because my wife found her wedding ring in the rubble or saw my, you know, Instagram or just something. It's just like, it just kind of restores your faith in humanity.
Yeah.
Which I got to say, you know, sometimes that's up for like, sometimes when you see the way shit goes, you're like, God, man, people are fucking horrible. Look what they're doing to each other in this world. But I do really believe that people are inherently good. You know, they're just maybe misled to become bad or deceived to feel like they need to crush someone else so that they can get what, you know, but I think inherently people are really good. And I'm kind of having that moment right now, like through this horrible experience of losing our house. It's making me just like really appreciate people and want to be a better person myself and just all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, blah, blah, blah.
Hell yeah. And everyone that's in your life and coming to help you right now, there's all one common theme between all of them. You helped them out at some point in the last 20 plus years. And
Which is wild.
It's literally plain and simple. Everyone's helping you out because of how great you've been to everyone for the past 20 plus years. And you can never forget that. Like, man, you've been a friend of everyone. Like, just anytime I've heard of a guitarist needed, you'd hop on stage. Anytime a DJ needed, no matter how much money was in the budget or how shitty the night was going to be, or how many times you had to play Black Parade to appease someone. Like, you were there with a smile on your face, ear to ear. Like, I remember before I even DJ'd at the Riff, like, regularly, I saw you there and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I got to DJ at the same bar as you.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
God, the Riff, that was a fun era. That was, speaking of Jack, right?
Yeah.
Jack used to have that bar. And I was stoked. Like, I saw Jack at maybe emo night. He was like, dude, I'm opening a bar. You should DJ. And I mean, we go back, like Sugar Cult and All Time Low go back to like so far back. I think they graduated high school and then hopped on as the opening act on our Lights Out tour.
Insane.
Which just goes to show how and then of course they became way bigger than us in the subsequent years. But back then they were like these kids that were on tour with us. And Jack confided in me, he's like, dude, the reason I bleached the side of my hair is because I saw a picture of you on the Bouncing Off the Walls video with your hair like that. I was like, that's fucking rad.
Wait,
dude.
so you're telling me Anthony from I Don't Know How But They Found Me used to rip off your hair, not Jack's hair all these years?
Of course. And
Anthony,
yeah,
I really hope you heard that.
but I was just ripping off someone else's hair too. That's the whole thing with rock and roll. That's the deal. It's found object art. One generation steals it from the previous one. So it's like anytime someone's like, "Yo, dude, I stole your fucking look," or "I stole your," I'm like, "That's okay because I stole it too, bro." Yeah.
I have such a distinct memory too of going to get our haircuts as teenagers and Anthony bringing a picture of Jack and being like, "I want my hair to look like this."
Yeah. It was derived from me. I will not reveal my sources, of course. Yeah. But you were talking about the "Stuck in America" riff at the beginning, and I think when I first made that up, I was trying to copy a song by a band from back in the day called Social Distortion. I always like the way they have a song called "Telling Them." You guys can Google it. And I was like, I want something that sort of sounds like that. And then there's another song by The Clash. I can't remember which one it is. That starts out something like that. I just love that thing that sort of sounds like a siren.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want a song that starts like this, something that sounds like a siren. So that was the origin of the beginning of Stuck in America. It's all found object art.
It's so sick.
It's just, that's what it is. You do it your own version of something that you think is dope, and then it comes out wrong. And then a bunch of people hear it and like it, and then someone else hears it and does their version of it, and that just keeps on going. It's just unbroken chain of music ideas.
Exactly. Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, Marko, thank you so much for coming by the show and sitting down, telling everyone everything that's happened recently. It's very unfortunate. And next time you're back here, it's going to be for a very happy reason. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. So. I mean, it's the day is darkest before the dawn. And I mean, like I said, this didn't just happen to me. This happened to so many people, and a lot of people in the music community. Out of respect to them, I won't name names, but people from lots of bands and love are affected by this. And it's no less sad when it happens to a musician and when it happens to anybody else, but because we're from the music community, it really hits home. And but I will say, I want to shout out Gibson and Fender and a lot of these companies that are just stepping up and literally just texting us and just going, "What do you guys need? What did you lose?" And then just without any they're just going, "Okay, give us a safe address. We're going to mail you a new amp, mail you a new guitar, mail you." So it's just amazing. The music community is, and all these artists that stepped up and did that Fire Aid thing, people doing, last night there was a thing, Phantom Planet, and
shout
everybody,
out Phantom Planet.
Fuck yeah, dude. And that was the second one they've done in a week. You know what I mean?
I think the third.
Maybe the third.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was a part of their headliner. They did a show the night before, and this was the third one.
Dude, I was so bummed because they actually hit me up to do that one on Saturday, but I had already, I was like, yeah, I can do it. And then I was like, oh shit, I already fucking committed to a DJ gig that night at a different place. And it was the same exact time.
You're telling me I could have looked up and seen to my left Dallin Weeks, Ryan Ross, Taylor Hanson, and Marko DeSantis, and you ruined that last moment?
Yes, you could have. But I had to honor my word. I told these people I was going to DJ, and I had to do it. And then I was going to actually hit up. What's your buddy Neb? His last name?
Scott.
Yeah, Scott. I was going to hit him up and be like, dude, I can come to the one last night at the Palladium. But then I was like, I don't want to be that guy. Yeah. You want to come to the one that Haley Williams is going to be at, but you could go to the one that you had to DJ. I didn't want to be that guy. So I was like, but yeah, it was just all these artists, musicians, man, talk about first responders. Musicians are we got to shout out to the firefighters and the people out there that show up and put their lives in danger to help people and try to these thankless tasks of trying to save houses and all this stuff of complete strangers. I mean, they're sitting there putting their lives in danger to try and save strangers. I mean, I just can't imagine those are just real ones. But the next ones, I would say the second responders are artists. Because they're just there for people at their best times in life, at their worst times in life, and they just step up. It was just that Fire Aid thing came together so quick, and it was Green Day, Stevie Nicks, just legends from all different generations, no doubt getting back together, Crosby, not Crosby because he's dead, but Stills and Nash, it's just fucking amazing. all of those artists, and there was no like VIP section, guest list. It was just every single person, like everyone who was a guest of the artist had to buy a ticket.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
You know,
and the way it should be.
It was insane. And like they raised $100 million.
Yep.
Yeah.
Insane.
And they gave it all to me. I'm just joking.
I was going to say your Cybertruck looked really
I'm just
good.
joking, dude. But no, they raised all this money for like, you know, for helping fire victims and for improving the system so we have less fires in the future and they're less damaging. I mean, LA is going to grow from this too, dude.
Yeah.
We're all going to grow as individuals and we're going to grow as a city out of this and we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, dude, thank you so much for having me. And
of course.
if anybody wants to find out about whatever's going on with me and hopefully anything sugar cult related in the near future, that was not a cough to, that was not a forced cough. It was an actual cough.
Oh, it wasn't the
And
Dear
breathing
Maria
in
cough.
a lot of smoke lately, but not the way fish might think. You know.
What's that supposed to be?
I don't want to, you know, say that.
You introduced me to the term jazzy cigarette.
You're the wacky tobacco. You might have been partaking in the wacky tobacco. I love all those old school terms. You know, jazz cigarettes, the wacky tobacco. It's like, fuck. Now I lost my train of thought. Fuck. What was I just saying? Oh yeah,
To keep up with you.
So keep up with me. Just go to my Instagram. It's Marko, Marko, and then DeSantis. Like you know, fuck. Everyone knows how to spell it now, unfortunately. But and then what else? Sugar Cult still doesn't have an official Instagram, but when we do have an official Instagram, you'll know something's on the fucking horizon. And we have a Facebook page in case your parents want to learn about us. And what else are we supposed to talk about? Am I supposed to plug shit?
If you have stuff to
I
plug,
DJ gigs a lot. If I'm DJing someplace, I'm DJing in San Diego on Sunday. You should look on my Instagram if you want to find out. And then I don't know. Let's fucking get through this together and let's help each other out. And let me know if I can help you in any way too, because I just owe the world one right now because the world fucking had our back. So thank you. Yeah, and our fucking link on my Instagram if you want to check out the stuff that Mike is offering to help us get through the fire, or if you want to check out the GoFundMe that our friends put together, or if you want to, I don't know, look on shit from other bands I've been part of. I don't know, whatever. You know?
Hell yeah. Well, I think this is a perfect segue to play a song called Do It Alone, because that's something that no one in Los Angeles or yourself is doing right now because of your incredible spirit and just being there for everyone and just having that sense of community and being so willing to do stuff in such a dark time. Because I don't know many people, like I said in the intro, I don't know many people who are in your situation or in your predicament where they're out about doing everything, spreading awareness, and just putting a smile on people's faces because they're able to see your smile.
I'm just trying to distract myself from the doom and gloom of it all. Because if you spend too much time sitting in it, you just get like, it just bums you out, you know?
For sure.
You're playing Do It Alone?
Dude,
You're going deep. You're
I told you
lights out guy.
I told you this is my favorite Sugar Cult song. There's a text
Really?
message. There's
Awesome.
a text message because you texted me before my Christmas party and go, "Oh my God, we're heading back to where we shot the Do It Alone video." I go,
Oh, that's right.
I go, no, it's a different Bahia, but that is my favorite Sugar Cult song.
Oh yeah, because when you had the Fishman's thing at Club Bahia, and I was like, dude, that's where we shot the fucking Do It Alone video, and yeah, and it turned out to be like a different location of
Yep.
it.
Same
Much
owners.
fancier, same owners, really?
Yeah.
Wow, they fucking stepped it up because when we shot it, you look up the Sugar Cult Do It Alone video, it was like this like kind of like Mexican dive bar in like the bad part of town, but it was an awesome place, and the new place is awesome too.
Yeah,
that was a beautiful space.
It was really awesome. Shout out to
fun.
Mike. Yeah,
that was super fun. Thank you for inviting me, and that was a good time.
It's always an honor to have you there because, I mean, what would it be without you there?
I saw one of my former songwriting students who's now, this girl Devin, who's now in a band that's crushing it.
Really?
And yeah. And fuck, what's her band called? They played like that thing.
Oh, Honey Revenge.
Honey Revenge, yes. And I was so proud of her. I was like, dude, you're fucking crushing it.
Yeah.
Honey Revenge, yeah. And I was teaching some songwriting private lessons, and I'm not going to say that I taught her how to be as awesome as she is right now, but maybe I had some little effect on her in some way, you know?
Hey, I mean, if I wasn't ripping off Sugar Cult and All Time Low, I wouldn't be here, so.
Hey, we all learn from somebody. And no, she was such a, like, I will say, like, certain people, because I do, like, I help a lot of like young artists and stuff, and And like, she was one of those people that just knew exactly who she was and what she wanted to do. And she was just like, I don't care who the fuck you are or how many fucking spins memory has. Like, I have my fucking ideas about what's up. Like, I just love people like that. You're like, that's a fucking real one right there. And a few years later, now she's crushing it, and I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of like any young band that's out there doing this shit. Pacifica was great. Honey Revenge is great. This band Forsythia. There's just so many bands out there that are doing all this stuff. There's so many bands coming up right now, you guys. I don't know what's going to happen because so many houses just burned down, but there's this huge scene. I don't know if people listening to this show are aware of this, but I want you to be happy to know this is happening. I just happen to know about it because I'm happen to have connections in the teenage world, not in a creepy way. It's because I have kids, but like, there's a whole world of teenage house shows going on all over LA.
Really?
Dude, it's a fucking movement.
That's
insane. It's sick. And these bands are out there and they're growing scenes. Like, we actually had a house show at our house 3 days before our house burned. And well, our house burned down on Wednesday, and on Saturday night we had a house show. My daughter put it on, and there was like 4 bands that played, and it's 250 kids raging in a backyard.
That sounds awesome.
And I was like, I can't believe this is happening right now. Like, and that's like the 4th one we've had in our house. And there's ones going on. I like dropped my daughter off at different ones around town. And it's like, there's like maybe someone's mom working, or like their, friend working the driveway and like taking donations, and they'll like pay all the bands, and then they'll give money to like, my daughter raised like $2,000, and she gave like $1,000 to like Planned Parenthood.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, the bands are all like, yeah, we wanted to give like half the money to a charity, or to children in Gaza, or just whatever. It's such a scene right now, dude. It reminds me of like the early days of like, well, my early exposure to punk rock, when, every generation has their own version of what they consider punk rock, but like the totally off the grid DIY movement. And it's like bands, like people playing basses and guitars and singing, and like kids getting into it, and like having it's a fucking scene. So I like to like let people know that people who have house shows out there who are listening to this, they're like, oh dude, don't tell everybody, it's like our secret. But there's this giant uprising out there in the backyards of Los Angeles.
Well,
it's going to be cool when you see these bands like start to pop into
That's so sick. I have to give a big shout out to my mom for not letting me ever do that, and barely letting me have band practice one time at my house. Dude, I didn't know about drum rugs. Because
were you a drummer?
No.
Oh, okay.
So why would I know about it? I just bought a drum set because it was like $300 at Guitar Center, and I had gift cards, and they were about to expire. So I went there, and I'm like, got the cheapest drum set, whatever. I'm like 12 years old.
And you didn't have a drum rug?
No.
So you just destroyed your parents' floors.
The floor in now my sister's room, because she took my room after I moved, is so fucked from the one band practice we had in there.
Man. Dude.
But
that's wild.
But either way, Marko,
Dude.
I can't thank you enough for coming by. Sending you all the love in the world to you and your family. You guys are going to get through it. It's going to be absolutely beautiful to see what you guys are able to build, and I can't wait to see what's to come from you, because I know if anyone is as creative as you could get, you're one of those people. So there's going to be a beautiful story to be heard from a very unfortunate time.
Thank you very much. And just everyone out there, just please keep sending us your positive energy. We feel it. We feel the love. We feel the, and everybody else, just send it out to Los Angeles, because we don't want to have to
do it alone.
Hello, can I say that there's something wrong with this place? I got time just to waste. If you would be my new escape, so then I say, can't find a lie.